We're starting today's video with two more incidents involving the so-called boogospheres. On the evening of June 5, 2025, an unusual object was spotted over the shallow waters of Xiaokou Reservoir in Beijing, China. The witness, who chose to remain anonymous, was walking near the reservoir when a metallic sphere gliding above the water caught their attention. Initially dismissed as a hydrogen balloon, the object didn't draw much attention until it returned about 30 minutes later, this time approaching from a different direction. With no wind and total silence in the area, the sphere hovered, changed altitude, and moved with precision. Over a span of 10 minutes, they captured 3 separate clips before the sphere finally disappeared for good. In the video, the object can be seen hovering about 60 feet above the water, slowly shifting back and forth before vanishing behind a tree line. Some speculated it could be a hoax involving a suspended ball and a drone, but when the video zooms out, no supporting equipment is visible. Others suggested the footage was digitally altered, though no signs of tampering were found. Adding to the mystery, just a few days later, another video surfaced online, this time from Yumbo, Colombia, showing an almost identical object. Recorded on June 10th, just 5 days after the Beijing sighting, this second video was captured by a local farmer. It shows a smooth metallic orb floating silently over cornfields for about 3 minutes. The sphere, highly reflective and perfectly round, even had a clear horizontal band around its center, a detail that matches many similar sightings in recent years. The object made no sound, didn't wobble, and maintained a stable trajectory before eventually disappearing from view. Once again, the drone theory doesn't seem to fit this sighting either, since at one point the orb is seen from below, an angle that would almost certainly reveal a drone. The similarities between both sightings, though happening on opposite sides of the world, are difficult to ignore. In both cases, the object hovered, maintained stability in calm conditions, and displayed no visible means of propulsion. However, the rabbit hole goes even deeper. In the Reddit threads discussing the sightings, other users chimed in with eerily similar stories. One described a reflective orb floating in a shell of static that exploded into fragments before reforming and vanishing. Another claimed they saw an orb descend to the ground, leaving a glowing trail before it seemingly melted into the earth. Whether we're looking at a new type of drone, an elaborate hoax, or some sort of UFO probe, the truth remains unknown. As to this day, both sightings remain unresolved. Investigative journalists Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp unveiled a newly declassified UFO incident that has drawn interest across the defense and intelligence communities. The footage, captured by a U.S. Air Force reconnaissance platform on November 23, 2020, shows a disc-shaped object moving in and out of cloud formations with no visible signs of propulsion. Internally labeled by the Department of Defense as a saucer, the object was unintentionally recorded while the platform monitored the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Corbell and Knapp emphasized that the video was vetted over several years and cross-referenced with multiple sources before being made public. Jeremy noted that it had long circulated within classified circles and was confirmed to exist by various insiders. According to George, the object demonstrated intelligent control, abrupt movements, and atmospheric disruption, all without emitting a heat signature or any kind of exhaust trail in the thermal imagery. These characteristics set it apart from any known military or civilian aircraft. The footage, released in 3 parts, includes raw imagery, a sharpened version enhanced by the military, and a clip showing the object weaving between clouds, described by officials as using clouds for concealment. George urged viewers not to rush to judgment or dismiss the footage, reiterating that it's officially designated as a UAP. However, despite its notoriety and the extensive efforts to identify the object, the sighting remains unexplained to this day. In December 2024, a witness in Tampa, Florida, claimed to have seen something unusual hovering over the lake behind his home, an airborne object that looked oddly humanoid and robotic. According to his account, the figure appeared to have an oblong white head with a body dangling below it. It floated silently in a fixed direction before the witness briefly looked away. When he looked back, the object was gone, replaced by a white pelican flying the same path. At the time, he chalked it up to his imagination. But roughly a month later, everything changed. While scrolling through Reddit, he stumbled upon a video showing the exact same object he claimed to have seen. The same shape, color, and structure. Although he tried to contact the original poster and even reverse image search the footage, the post had vanished and no clear source was ever found. The video itself, though brief, shows a strange flying object with features that strongly resemble a robotic humanoid. While some initially speculated it could be a balloon, its unusual structure and posture make that theory questionable. Others suggested the footage could have been AI-generated or digitally manipulated, but further analysis didn't raise any signs of tampering. To add to the mystery, a similar object was reportedly photographed near Area 51 in 2024. Although the credibility of the image is questionable, especially given that security would unlikely allow a civilian to simply get away with capturing such a controversial photograph. Despite the odd shape, the consistency of eyewitness testimony, and the eerie similarity to another high-profile photo, there's still no solid explanation for this sighting. This next sighting comes from Halifax, West Yorkshire, and although the event took place on March 16, 2023, the footage was only shared online 2 years later in 2025. Recorded at night and somewhat blurry, the video shows a triangular-shaped object silently hovering in the sky. Each of the object's 3 edges displays a single light, and despite the low quality, the outline of a dark, solid structure is just barely visible, being just a little darker than the sky behind it. The witness mentioned attempting to stabilize the footage and believes the lights are clearly attached to a physical craft. This kind of object has been commonly referred to as the TR-3B, a type of triangular UFO that has been reported numerous times over the past decade all around the world. Some online speculation suggests that the craft could be a classified Generation 6 fighter jet, which might explain the recurring sightings in recent years. However, in the absence of official confirmation or further evidence, this theory remains speculative. As of now, the nature and origin of the object remain unexplained. This next video shows an unidentified flying object passing in front of the moon over the skies of Hiratsuka, Japan. The footage was captured on March 18, 2025, by the Hiratsuka City Museum's astronomy department using a telescope. But it only gained attention months later, when it was posted on Reddit in July. In the video, a dark object moves steadily across the moon's surface. At first glance, it looks like a ring, but many have suggested it may actually be a disk, with the moon's light illuminating its edges while the center remains in shadow. Since the object's altitude is unknown, it's unclear whether it was in near-Earth space or much farther out, making its true size and speed impossible to determine. As the video circulated, skeptics proposed that it could simply be an out-of-focus object, possibly distorted by the reflector telescope used to capture the footage. Still, others argued that the object's steady trajectory and consistent shadowing suggest it could be an intelligently controlled craft, possibly of non-human origin. With no official explanation from the museum or the broader astronomical community, the sighting remains a mystery.